Return to the Blue Lagoon is a 1991 American South Seas romantic adventure film directed and produced by William A. Graham and starring Milla Jovovich and Brian Cruz. The film is a sequel to The Blue Lagoon, which was released in the year 1980. Beginning exactly where the first movie left off, in the South Pacific Ocean in 1897, a larger ship discovers a little dinghy with three occupants. They shortly discover that the two adults are dead, but the baby, a 2-year-old kid, who they presume is named Richard, because that is the only name he is familiar with, is still alive. They board the ship with the infant, who is left in the custody of the young widow, who also has a small daughter named Lily. The ship they are traveling on discards Miss Sarah Hargrave, the widow, and the two little children, because the crew has cholera. Kearney, a sailor who has been deployed with them, attempts to kill the boy after days at sea because of his constant crying. Kearney is brutally killed by a harpoon and dumped overboard by Sarah, who is furious. The group reaches a stunning South Pacific island with a tropical climate, as the orphaned boy Richard was born and nurtured by young lovers on this same island. Sarah strives to raise them to be civilized. As they mature, Sarah teaches them from the Bible as well as her own knowledge, which includes reality. She gently commands the kids to never go to the island's forbidden side. Sarah passes away from pneumonia 8 years later, leaving Richard and Lily, then 10 and 8, to care for themselves. She is interred on a picturesque promontory that provides a view of the tidal reef. Together, the children rely on their ingenuity and the abundance of their distant paradise to thrive. Richard and Lily both develop into strong and attractive teenagers 6 years later. They share a beachfront home and pass their days swimming, fishing, and exploring the island. They are drawn to one another physically as their bodies mature and evolve. Richard lets Lily win the kids' game of Easter egg hunting and then dives to get her a pearl from an adult. A household argument is started by Richard's propensity to raise lagoon sharks. Lily believes it's reckless, but the commotion makes Richard feel virulent. Just as Zara had described the beginning of womanhood, Lily awakens in the morning with her first menstrual period. Richard has an erection when he wakes up in the morning and experiences a nasty mood swing that he cannot explain. The two then argue about privacy and their late mother's guidelines. Richard finds out that a tribe of islanders from another island sacrifices conquered foes at the altar of a large, Kon-Tiki-like idol every full moon when he ventures off to the island's prohibited site. Lily worries about Richard's disappearance as he blends in with the dirt and hides in the sludge. Even though just one local observes Richard, he manages to depart unharmed. In the end, Richard and Lily reconcile their differences and come to understand natural love and passion, which strengthens their emotional connection. In the middle of the forest, they fall in love and exchange wedding vows and rings. For the ensuing months, they fully express their recently discovered affection for one another. A ship carrying Rowdy Sirius, a haughty captain, and his stunning but pampered daughter, Sylvia Hilliard, soon makes its way to the island. The young couple welcomes the group and requests to be escorted back to civilization after spending many years in seclusion. Richard is tempted by Sylvia's strange ways, but he realizes that Lily is his heart and soul, upsetting Sylvia. She tries to seduce him away from Lily. In the center of the fish pond, in full view of the landing party, Richard furiously abandons Sylvia. As Lily is taking a bath, the sailor Quinlan approaches her and drags her inside. Before Richard arrives to save her, he makes an attempt to rape her and take her pearl. Richard runs away as Quinlan opens fire on him. In the vicinity of the tidal reef, Quinlan is lured by Richard to the shark's mouth, where he dies. Upon returning, he apologizes to Lily for hurting her and she reveals that she is pregnant. She tells him that if he wants to leave, then she will not stop him, but that she wants to raise their child away from civilization and away from guns. They decide to stay and raise their child on the island as they feel their blissful life would not compare to civilization. The ship departs, and the two young lovers stay on the island and have their baby, a girl.